Well, it's been a while, but she has changed a lot. So this is kind of going to be an update and why it's been, I think, almost 2 months since I posted. So we'll start on the outside and then go towards the inside and the mechanical parts. The paint obviously looks red now instead of pink. All the headlights, turn signals, marker lights, and the red light all work. Tires, not good, but that's the price that I don't want to deal with right now. But I mean, really the only thing on the outside is the paint so far, but it looks really good. I mean, it really did turn out good. It leaves a patina look. The hose bed, we actually got donated 450 feet of 3-inch hose that, instead of replacing the wood, because wood is pretty much buying a house right now, we're just going to put some hose back here to cover it up. And then of course where the pump went, no real rush with that, maybe in the future. The other side's pretty much the exact same. While we're on this side, I'm going to connect the battery. It's been a couple days since it's ran, and I'll also get into that. But here's the interior. You know, not much has changed in here. We've put rags in the roof to you know, quit water from coming in. There's the battery. It took me a long time to find this one, but I will go ahead and get it started, because it does that now. It runs pretty good in my opinion for what it is. So we'll get in here. Like I said, it's been a little while, so she's probably grumpy, but always gotta check sure it's in neutral. Shake it vigorously. Doesn't skip a beat. Have to idle her pretty high just because she won't stay running. And there she is. There's the 1966 version of an exhaust, which is the same size as the Cherry Bomb, but doesn't really do anything. I'll go ahead and turn on all the electronics. Do marker lights, do those, then we'll do this one. Looks just like that. I don't know if the camera picks it up, but most of the marker lights work, and normally if they don't work, you just gotta... This worked last time. Okay, they're kind of finicky. They don't always work. But that turn signal works. Hard to see, but both marker lights work. This didn't have a casing to it, so this red doesn't exactly fit, and it sometimes falls out. Minor problems. There's the red light. Pretty sweet. All the way back here, both tail lights work. This power wire here that was supposed to start the pump also has power to it. It tried to weld the creeper to the bed of the truck. Learned that the hard way. The reel motor, don't know if you can see it, but it works. It's not hooked up to the reel right now because the reel is seized. We'll go ahead and do headlights. Also kind of hard to see because it's daytime. I'll go ahead and pop the hood. We'll go ahead and idle her down. It doesn't have a tack, as you can see. What you kind of have to do is go off of the alternator. And we don't know if it's overcharging or if it's just because there's an aftermarket alternator. But if it's a 60, or really if it's not jumping, you know you're good. So it sounds pretty happy like that right now. No pull chain for the inside for the hood. And here she is. So go ahead and turn her off. And just like that. So what all we did on the inside, replaced the master cylinder, which because of some spilled fluid and possibly a leak, I don't really know, it's gone back to what it looked like, which is completely rusted. Done a coolant flush, obviously everything to get the motor running, spark plugs, oil change. We did have to rebuild the carb. Here's the reason, you know, it runs and it drives, but it used to. It doesn't anymore. Yeah, so all that, which is all old, is brake fluid. Yeah, none over there, none on the back. We were loading it on the trailer to go to an event, and we believe the wheel cylinder blew. Technically it's called a leak. I call it blowing the wheel cylinder because the amount of fluid that's coming out is obnoxious and just ridiculous. So we're gonna slow down. We're gonna take a step back. Another thing with the engine is the temp gauge doesn't work. There's odds and ends. This is the siren we picked up, one that was donated to it for free, so we obviously took it. The original siren had a plate there that came out, sat on top of it, right here, which I'm in the works of getting that. But this one will do for now. I'll fire it up in a minute. But what we're gonna do is we're just gonna go ahead, for sure do that wheel cylinder, possibly all of them. I don't know, that'll cost about 200 bucks. And then since we're gonna have to take the wheels off, well, before that drum is full of fluid, so those pads are gonna have to be replaced per shoes. So we're gonna have to do the other front shoes at that point. Might as well do them all, get it over with. This truck isn't gonna be dailied. We shouldn't ever have to do it again unless a wheel cylinder blows. And then since all the wheels are gonna have to come off, at that point, might as well bite the bullet and do wheels, which is gonna be a lot of money. And of course they're split rims, which is gonna, I can't just take it to discount. I gotta find a specialty shop. So that's the plan right now. We're gonna, get her on some stands. Hopefully she doesn't fall off. And get all the wheels, get new wheels, do a full brake job. And at that point, she should be not only event ready, but parade ready. Or not parade ready, street ready, because she rides really rough right now. And that's because although it doesn't look like it, the tires are really more square than they are round. Another thing, common thing with fire trucks is when they're unloaded, they ride extremely rough. I keep bouncing all over the place, but if you will look, we'll go back up front here. It's just crazy hot today. Let's see if I can get a good angle. The leaf springs, the front isn't too terrible, you know, too crazy. It looks pretty normal. But the back, you can just see there on the edge, there's a second row of leaf springs. So this truck is this truck weighs 9,300 pounds. On the spec sheet from 1966. So when it was fully loaded with, you know, a giant 4-cylinder motor and a pump, plus however many hoses, you know, how much hose was up there, it was 17,000 pounds. That's 8.5 tons. So it rides extremely rough. With that hose, it should add about 450, 500 pounds. And then we may fill it with water. We think the tank is good. So that kind of starts us off on what is left. Well, the hood here, it doesn't accept the wax too well. I mean, it's just off the shelf O'Reilly's wax, but same thing up here on top. It just doesn't do too good. So, and of course the rest of the truck is just gonna need plenty more rounds and rounds of wax. So that's always gonna be something to do. Obviously we need to fab up a metal sheet here for the siren and then get the siren. I did a coolant flush. I don't know, we may have to do another one. We need a temp gauge, aftermarket temp gauge. I'll do that. Obviously all the hose or all the loose equipment, so hard suction, another reel for that side, plus the red line, 2 or 3 fire extinguishers, a fire axe, this side a set of ladders and a pike pole, all of that, and that should fully outfit it. This battery, you'll see why it's on its own system here in a minute. Just like that, old school battery disconnect. That's the good part about it being in the cab. It's basically like your own switch. As far as the interior goes, supposedly it never had a headliner. I don't know. The seats need to be re-stuffed, if that's what you call it. And then we'll go to outfitting it with, you know, 1966 era style equipment, so radios, which for a rural truck like this that's really all it had. I'll go ahead and get this siren wound up. This is a 6-volt battery, that is a 12. We believed this siren was a 6-volt, but it just doesn't, I don't know, it winds up too quick. But I didn't have a terminal or a thing, so that's our ground. You're welcome. Put that on there, and then I'm not gonna get too crazy loud because neighbors are out, and I don't want to burn up the siren before we actually get to use it. But that's pretty much the setup right now. The gears all work great. 2-speed axle works great. Yeah, so that's the plans right now. We're gonna do a full brake job and tires. So that's our big expenses that are gonna happen. And then other than that, she'll be ready. Just get the siren. There's I'd ballpark about $4,000 to $5,000 left to do to this truck, which for the shape it was in and how old it is, that's not bad. So I will start actually doing real videos. Probably the next video will be us getting the wheels, tires off, and doing the brakes. And then after that, hopefully we'll get it done in time for 4th of July. If not, I know in September, Piedmont, the town, has a a Founders Day event, which I don't know how to explain it, but there's a parade. This truck would be in it. So, gosh, it is like 100 degrees today, and this metal is hot. So that's where she's at now. So we've made a ton of progress, but there's a lot more to do. So if you like this video, obviously I haven't done too good at, you know, being consistent. I'm gonna change that. So subscribe if you want to, do whatever, and stick along for the ride.